Hey everybody, it's GobletX and welcome back to some more Magic Arena. Today we're going to be playing another attempt of the Avatar: The Last Airbender Arena Direct Sealed event. We are playing some best of one sealed here, trying to win some physical Magic the Gathering cards by playing digital Magic on Arena. As always, very high risk, very high reward event. 8,000 gems to enter, about $40 worth of gems, but if we can get 6 or 7 wins before only 2 losses, then we get to win some physical Avatar: The Last Airbender booster boxes shipped directly to us. So really cool event. We always play these until 7 attempts or until we win the box, whatever comes first. And unfortunately, we're quite a few attempts deep this time, but we'll see if we can't get really lucky here, open some great stuff, draw well, and play well as we head into the event. So we've got a pretty good sealed pool this time in terms of the rare quality. Looks like some Grixis stuff could be very powerful. We have Fire Lord Azula, Azula Cunning Usurper, and Ozai the Phoenix King for some really strong rares in those 3 colors. We even get a couple lands that are good mana sinks, the Realm of Ko and the Agnakella. So I'm liking the look of Grixis here. There are some other rares, of course, in the sealed pool. I think the best other rare we have is Abandoned Air Temple, but Firebending Student doesn't do a ton in sealed. Katara doesn't do a ton in sealed. The Diligent Zookeeper also really depends what other creatures we have, but it can get some buffs on our other creatures, so that might be the best non-land rare we have in our other colors, but I'm really liking the quality of like Azula and Ozai, just being leagues above the rest of our rares, and then of course the lands are great too. Let's see what we've got in all of our commons, uncommons, starting with the colorless stuff to see if we've got a good chunk of fixing to play 3-color easily, and we do. We've got Barrels, Aang's Journey, Water Skin, and Rumble Arena. We've got a black-red dual land as well, but that's the only on-color dual that we have for Grixis. So it won't be the perfect mana base, but it'll be pretty decent. Any other multicolored cards, like Signpost Uncommons, pushing us in a specific direction? Not really, these cards are not strong enough to do so, and there's not a lot of multicolored cards in the sealed pool in the first place. Alright, I'm really feeling Grixis, but we'll do our due diligence. We'll look at every color and make sure we're not missing out on anything else that's super powerful. White does look pretty consistent, good curve of creatures. Well, I mean, the curve itself isn't good, but the creatures are pretty decent here. And then a good amount of some interaction here. I like all of the non-creature spells quite a bit, and of course the Abandoned Air Temple is the big pull into that color. That makes the rest of it look that exciting. Blue might be the splash here. Maybe black, red, splash, blue. I do like the Quench, the Fortune Teller, and the Double Lost Days. Octopus form as well for protecting some of those rare creatures could be quite strong. But the Koi, the Spirit, the Master, the Crashing Waves, these are just not that good. So maybe blue's the lighter color, and we just play like the cards that are still good draws late game, like the Octopus forms, the Lost Days, maybe. And then, of course, the Azula. So that's interesting. What do we got for black here? Black, we've got 3 great removal spells. Not a lot of creatures, not a lot of spells in general. But I think we could run a little bit more black spells than blue, maybe, hopefully. Red might be the heaviest color, just because we have the most spells in that color. We didn't take a look at our hybrid stuff. Okay, Messenger Hawk helps the blue and the black a lot. But that's it. There's not a lot of multicolored in this sealed pool. But yeah, Messenger Hawk and Hama being off of the blue and the black helps one of those two become the core color as well because of the, hybrid costs there. So yeah, I'm not sure. Red is definitely one of the core colors. Play the Lightning Strike, the Triple Bash, play the best creatures that we have in this color. But I don't know between blue or black what it's going to be. Green, there's no big, exciting reason to play this color, but it is consistent with double removal and some creatures all the way throughout the curve. But this looks like a very simple, pretty clear, you're just supposed to play Grixis in the sealed pool. So let's see, if I put the Messenger Hawk and the Hama in here, does blue at the core or red at the core, or sorry, blue at the core or black at the core look better? So, the core blue deck. I mean, none of these cards are unplayable. We can play all of these creatures. We can play the Paku. We could play the Koi. Yeah, this looks really reasonable. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 blue cards. Yeah, I mean, 10 blue cards, 10 red cards, and like 3 black spells. That's absolutely a core color of the deck at 10 spells. Yeah, this looks super, super reasonable to me. What about the black instead? If we do the black instead, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Bunch of beetle-headed merchants, I guess. 8, 9. And a Tundra tank. I feel like I like the blue better. Yeah, these beetle-headed merchants are just weird. The curve's higher too. The Tundra tank also doesn't make a ton of sense. Yeah, let's just go for the blue, I'm thinking. Play those octopus forms. We get to play the Quench if we have a lot of blue. We're playing Firelord Azula. We're playing Azula. And we're playing Ozai. Azula, Cunning Usurper, and Ozai. Blue could give us a Cat Owl as well. I don't think that's exciting, though. We get to play Barrels. We play Aang's Jury. We play Waterskin. Rumble Arena for fixing. Land count here is 17, so we just need 4 more cards. I'm gonna play more than 4 red cards, probably. So that gives me room to cut some stuff as well, and maybe not even play as much blue. We could play Lightning Strike here. All the Boomy Bashes. Fire Sages is the best 2-drop. The Porcupines look okay in here. The Freedom Fighters is fine. Zuko could be a good card draw engine. Rough Rhinos at the top of the curve. I mean, maybe because I really don't like red creatures in general in this set, like even though some of these are decent, maybe red is still the splash. Because we found that we do have enough blue and black cards. And I really like our removal spells in those colors. Where we probably don't even need the Boomy Bashes. We can just splash Ozai Lightning Strike. I mean, we need double red, though, for Ozai. Having to hit double red is harder off the splash for sure. But what? Then we get to play Callous Inspector, Merchant, Tundra Tank instead of more of those red spells. And this does look pretty legitimate to me. Makes our Hama really easy to cast. Makes Azula really easy to cast because Azula needs double black. Yeah, we have Azula and Ozai both need double black. The only card we have that needs double red is Ozai. So red's actually technically maybe an easier splash because we have 2 different bombers that need double black and only 1 bomber that needs double red. So the more black we have in our deck, the more consistently we're casting both Azula and Ozai. Another peek at everything else we have. I feel like this really might not be a crazy Zuko's Conviction deck because reanimating an Azula or an Ozai or something is just absurd. I could play a Conviction over Tundra Tank, I think. What is our creature count, though? At least, like, 10? It's exactly 10? That's pretty low. But we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 removal spells. Which makes it harder to get punished for the lower creature count, but still definitely possible. Azula looks pretty great in here. We've got a lot of instants to copy. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? 5 cards we could cast at instant speed that would double trigger. Do we even have any creatures in blue or black to run in here that look like they fit anywhere decent on the curve or help the deck out really all that much? Because the only thing I can think of that we're not running are beetle-headed merchants in blue and black. Yeah, it's literally just the 5-mana beetle-headed merchants. I guess Benevolent River Spirit's actually fine. Yeah, Benevolent River Spirit's actually good if blue's a core color. So we can run that, but it's not helping us get any cheaper on the curve. So we want to cut a non-creature card for that, so we're at 11 creatures at least. Maybe Swamp Snare Trap's the worst of them. Maybe a second Octopus form, because I do have Octopus form and a Quench. Even Lost Days, we can technically tuck our own rare back into our deck if we have a bunch of mana up. I think I'm going to keep the Octopus forms in. Maybe we actually go for Zuko's Conviction, because if we're going to have double Octopus Form and Eloquentia, we have 3 cards in this deck that's, well, 2 cards that's basically entire purpose is to protect these rares. So if I'm spending 3 card slots, like 2 to protect them and 1 to reanimate them, that's a lot. I think I'm just going to go for the Octopus Forms here over the Conviction, since they're somewhat similar purpose, because they're the kind of cards that are only like particularly good when I already have drawn a rare, especially the Zuko's Conviction. The card really doesn't do a lot for us unless we've drawn like a really good creature alongside it. Yeah, this looks pretty great to me. Let's double check the mana here though. 13 blue cards, 10 black, and 3 red. We have 8 blue sources, 8 black sources, 4 red. That sounds good to me. Yeah, we don't need double blue until really late in the game. We also need double black at that point with cards like Azula and Ozai. And we have an Island Cycler, but not a Swamp Cycler, so even though it's an 8-8 split, it's technically slightly favored towards blue, which is where we want it to be. We are slightly higher on blue. Yeah, pretty sweet looking Grixis deck. We'll call it a deck here, hop in the gameplay, and see how far this one can take us. All right, here we are on the play for game number 1. We'll keep this hand with perfect mana thanks to the barrels. Start off with a Master Paku. Boiling Rock Prison. Got a tap land to play on turn 3 now. Black source for us, nothing for 3 mana. Boom, I'll mill you 0. Take that. Mono black so far from our opponent, but the Rumble Arena can help them out. Another land for us gives us nothing to do, but we can activate Agnakella, which is part of the value of those mana sinks. When you're flooding out, you're still doing something. We've drawn exclusively lands this game, so we're certainly flooding out. Take a Hog Monkey, hits. That was like slightly bold attack from our opponent, because if we had any instant, just block and eat that for free. So kind of lucky for our opponent that we are as flooded as we are. Wow, speaking of flood, discard that extra land, draw a giant koi. Alright, let's hope we hit a 3 mana or less non-creature card from our opponent's grave, because I do not want to sit here and not impact the board. Even if all I get is a 3/3 here, we kind of got to. 1 mana off from the sold out, so our opponent has time to blow up our Hama before we can cast it against them. Alright, show me your combat trick. I don't care if Master Paku dies. Could be the discard 1, draw 2 off of Rumble Arena. And I'm really happy with this, because if they're spending mana on a combat trick, it means they're not spending mana killing Hama, and I get to actually cast this sold out. Sell out the Hog Monkey and pass. Play the defensive here. My second red for if we hit Ozai. It's Messenger Hawk for our opponent, which gives them the clue they need to make the Knowledge Seeker a 3/2 and get a profitable trade into Hama. Hama has no abilities left though, so I wouldn't mind the trade. There's the Lightning Strike we can use as well. Probably hold on to the 7th and higher land when I've got Agnakella here. Although the 7th land lets me cast Lost Days and crack the clue in the same turn. Or it lets me crack the barrels and the Lightning Strike in the same turn. There's a lot of reasons to actually hold on here. I should have poked for 3. There was not a reason not to attack for 3. I guess, like, technically if they sold out the Giant Koi or something, now I get to stop Knowledge Seeker's damage. But it probably would have been better just to get a few points in there. Discard a Merchant of Many Hats. Benevolent River Spirits to draw. That's a very good draw. If they've got a removal spell to cast on the spirit, they hit us for 6 maximum, and I'm at 10. All right. We'll lunge in, take the trade. So now they just hit us for 3. Find Azula. Beautiful. The Cunning Usurper Azula, the one that exiles one of their creatures when she enters. Either Azula would be a really good draw here. The other Azula being able to copy either of these removal spells off of attacks would be pretty gnarly. Ozai's Cruelty our hand. That's actually fine because our top deck is incredible. Watery Grasp the Koi is rough. Here's Azula. One mana from immediately replaying the Hawk, so if they do kill Azula, we don't get to recast here. And that's how they could stabilize. They have 5 more spells still available because they've drawn so many non-land cards this game. Although if they spend their turn killing Azula, they're taking another 4 from River Spirit, which means they go to 10. Blow up Azula, they go to 6. So they're in a difficult position, even if they can kill the Azula here. But not an impossible one, because they have so many spells available to them. Lost Days, the Azula is not ideal, because that means we just get to recast her and get the Enter effect all over again. So that is not a good time for our opponent. There's the other Azula we were talking about earlier. Solid draw. They have 6 mana available now, and we know every card in their hand is a non-land card. So there are still combinations of spells that they could have here to stabilize, even with an Azula Cunning Usurper coming up next turn. There's Hama the Bloodbender to mill our Azula and make sure we don't draw that. But if they don't hit something really cheap to waterbend, which I guess there might already be, yeah, there's like Lightning Strike, but that's not big enough to kill our creatures. Yeah, there's the concession from our opponent because we can just barrels away their blocker and attack for 8. Starts things off 1-0 for us. Our opponent just did not draw their lands, and we drew some real strong rares. All right, here we are on the play for game number 2, starting with turn 1 Callous Inspector and having a curve out here with a Lightning Strike too. We drew the red source for that immediately, which is surprising. Get that splash color quickly, and that is some good mana draws this game. So Realm of Ko if we run out of stuff to do, which technically we already have, turn 3, but we've got removal as soon as they start playing anything of their own. Ooh, this works pretty well for us. We didn't have anything to do with our 3 mana this turn, and now we can just pick up a merchant. If they don't play something that needs to be lightning struck. That does need to be lightning struck. But I could do it next turn and still play a 2-drop, so I can pick up merchant now, untap, cast merchant, and lightning strike. Very good, very mana efficient. They play a threat we need to kill, we cast Waterskin and downfall it, and if they don't, we play the Realm and make a unblockable spirit. Water Tribe Captain. I don't need to kill that. I don't mind killing it. I think I'd rather save downfall for like a threat. Just start activating the realm here. I don't want to end up casting an epic downfall and then having them cast a rare on me. We can just race the captain for now. Even a solid uncommon I could wait for. like Master Piondao or something. Raven Eagle is the perfect target. We're going to downfall that thing. It has drawn them a card as soon as it hit the board, though, which is part of what's so powerful about this card. Any rare that immediately gives you a card worth of value, make sure you cannot get anything less than a 2-for-1. So they have 2-for-1 us here. They're up a card. There's a Lost Days. It's way better to downfall than Lost Days here, though. If I downfall, I don't have the Realm mana anyway. Yeah. If they cast like a 6-mana creature, like the Koi or something, that'd be beautiful. Some big Chungus that doesn't have an enter effect. Master Piondao, another good one. Legend of Yang Chen. Oh boy. Double huge value rare in a row. That is not good for us. At least we didn't have any permanents really for them to hit with that. That's pretty rude. Am I gonna end up just lost dacing a Water Tribe Captain here? Because the Legend is not a card I want them to redraw. I guess I might. Another Water Tribe Captain. Alright, sure. If they got a quench, they got a quench. River Spirit's pretty nice here. Once the Legend flips, they can start airbending. Blue, blue. 5. Blue, blue. One, two. It's not awful if they airbend away the River Spirit, I think, though. They have to pay ward on it, too. It would have to be double spell in hand, but they've got a lot of mana they could double spell easily. I'm really considering the Lost Days here. But I could play River Spirit and crack a clue, which is really tempting. They can only airbend away one card a turn, so they would just airbend the River Spirit and then I Lost Days it still. This is a close decision. I think we ditch both of those because we have some rares in this deck to look for. I put these stops that I could respond to that with Lost Days if I wanted to, but I'm not doing that. Since we're casting the River Spirit. Play a land. Are the last 2 cards in hand both spells? For the Avatar's Airbend's ability or not? Oh, one of them is a sold out to fully kill the River Spirit. Fair. Hope me for 3. What do we got here? Even a land isn't terrible. We can use the clue. Just a land for them. We gotta draw something to win this race, otherwise they're gonna get there. But we've got the clue to help do that. Ooh, the fact that they activated, though, means that our quench is active, and now that could help us win this race. That's huge. That's so huge. And then the barrels, oh boy. Oh boy, that's massive. And then their top deck doesn't do anything and they're dead. They draw the legend does literally nothing. They cast it and our stuff's too low mana value to target, and then they take 2 and die. What a draw. Perfect time to hit that removal, and that quench actually coming in so clutch because they used the ability to get the extra damage in. Great, great stuff that game. That was a rareless game too? No, we had the Realm of Co, and we did use it. We used that spirit token to great use, but other than that, all commons and uncommons, great stuff from the deck there. 2-0 heading to game 3. All right, here we are now on the play for game number 3. We got Callous Inspector to start us off. We got the Hawk on 3. Yeah, we got the mana for everything in the hand. I mean, technically we don't have the mana for the Koi, but we can turn it into an island anyway. And we do have the mana to do that. The Lightning Strike is the draw. That's not terrible. We're just 1 mana away from casting it. The Rumble Arena will get us there. Don't mind it. There's a Quench. I think I'll keep the Quench, and we'll probably Island Cycle the Koi. We can't do it this turn, though, without shuffling the Quench away. But turn 4, we could Island Cycle and play the island and still have the Quench up. So here we're just holding up. I could hardcast Messenger Hawk, or I could hold up Quench or Lightning Strike. I think I'll hardcast Messenger Hawk, and then next turn it's Island Cycle, hold up Quench. I forgot this set had the audio lines. We could do it's the Quenchiest. Ooh, if I top deck the island, then I don't have to Island Cycle till later, and I'm chilling right now. I'm surprised they didn't attack in and take the Messenger Hawk trade. Cool with that. I don't get to hold up Lightning Strike if I crack this clue right now, but if I do crack this clue right now, then I get some damage. I don't mind getting some damage. Boom, they're down to 14. They have some really good lands, by the way. Should probably mention Bossing Say, this thing is a terrifying mana sink in the late game. They don't have enough green to use it yet. They need to play another forest. But they just keep making bigger and bigger creatures. Once it gets to the late game, you can Earthbend one of your lands, make it a 2/2, and then you could keep just Earthbending on the same land, go 4/4, 6/6, 8/8, and have one really big threat that can attack through and force a bunch of chump blocks. Or, if it's better to just turn all of your different lands into more 2/2s, you can do that as well. It's very flexible. A really strong card in the late game. Katara, it really depends what else is in their deck, if that's actually going to be scary or not, because it doesn't do anything by itself, but it's good enough to quench there. Technically, we could Lightning Strike it, but that's just a fair opportunity, I think, to get rid of it. I could spend an Octopus form to kill a Poxbearers. I don't really want to spend a whole card to kill that thing. I'm just going to trade 2 damage for 2 damage here and be fine with it. What? Cathara copy number 2 is here. Well, we'll Lightning Strike that one, I guess. If they counter this somehow, then we Swamp Snare it. They did not counter that somehow. Strange. Hello, land number 6. I've got this beautiful, gigantic fishy for you to cast. Boom. MVP is actually Magikarp. No. I mean, they give us a clue token, so that's just a really good deal for us. I am not a fan of Zuko's Exile, even in Sealed. Unless your sealed pool is incredibly desperate for removal, which does happen sometimes, so. I'm not going to judge anybody who's running it against us. I just would try to avoid it if your sealed pool's good enough to do so. Earthbender Ascension's another fantastic rare. Grab whatever basic they want out of their deck, and they Earthbend 2, so they've got a 2/2 here. They're ramping up. They're grabbing whatever color they need. This is probably going to be a forest here. So if nothing else, they can start activating Bossing Say every single turn. Animating the sacrifice lands is a pretty fun thing you can do with Earthbending. If you have stuff that only Earthbends 1 or Earthbends 2, that's a way to consistently get some card draw going. Because you can sacrifice them and they'll come back to the board, and then you Earthbend it again, sacrifice it, it comes back to the board, Earthbend it again, so on, so on. They're only at 6 life here, so they're probably not attacking. Oh, there's the first time flyer, never mind. Well, we've got the Swamp Snare Trap for that. Agnikella is a great draw. Because we have a copy of that in our deck, we should probably consider holding on to lands more than I did so there. Did I play a 7th? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The Agnikella is the 7th land, so I didn't really have an opportunity to hold a land yet anyway, because we had to play the 6th land to play the fish. So fair enough. I could have activated... I probably should have just activated this to hit them for 2 more. Even though I don't really want to discard Octopus Form, when it's giving me 2 extra damage, and I just mill 1 card, that's fine. And then it's perfectly possible that I draw something that is better than Octopus Form, and then I immediately cast it. Yeah, that was a miss. I should have activated that there for the extra damage, at the very least. Yep, because now they've got the blocker I can't get through, but I can activate it to trade into that at least. Yeah, I mean, even now I should activate it. Well, there you go. That's a good one. And now I have a land for it, so it's incredibly easy to activate it. I'm going to do this first in case of something that makes me pay mana. They've only got 2 up, but they could have like a quench. If we use this last turn, they would be dead right now. And that is my bad. They have to double block. We trade Inspector into Poxbearers and get a clue. Dang, no, not the Razor Rings. Gain some life too. Rough. Paku to hold off any damage. Great Divide Guide's a really, really good rare. It doesn't matter very much at this point because we all have so much mana. But this is an awesome card to have in your sealed pools. It's so good on turn 2, and it really helps you splash in just all the best cards in your deck. Or in your sealed pool, I should say. I forgot about Waterskin. We do have the mana for clue here. Ooh, Lost Days. That's not bad, and it's another lesson to mill our opponent more. If I Lost Days targeting the North Pole gates, they can respond by sacrificing it anyway. So I guess I'm hitting the Great Divide Guide here. This is a prowess trigger too, so I should probably try to wait for combat. So this is a 2/4 being blocked by like a 2/2 and a 1/1, and I kill one of them. So I guess I'm milling them less because I'm waiting to see how they block. Although they might just block with Great Divide Guide and then it doesn't matter. But this gives them the opportunity to block in such a way where I get to kill something for free. Or where I get to get a couple points of damage in. Either's great. Okay. I get to theoretically kill the North Pole gates here for free. They could respond by sacrificing it to get their card out of it, but if they do that, then I kill their 1/1 token. And they have no creatures left. Because we have an expendable card in hand, it's going to be better to activate Agna instead of cracking the clue. Save the clue for when we don't have something to discard. Okay, they are going to draw off the gates, which means we are going to kill this 1/1. And they have no creatures left, which is beautiful. Let's go. I gotta get better at using the water skin. It is not a great card in draft, so I'm so used to like I rarely play it, and I play a lot more draft than sealed. But it's like so reasonable in sealed because you end up playing these 3-color decks so often that I just don't have a lot of experience playing with the untap it every end step ability. I gotta get better and get used to doing that, making sure that I'm always tapping it and thinking about the fact that it will be untapped and I will get more mana back. Draw land, draw a Fortune Teller. This could be our second red. So I'll keep the water skin up for now. Do this. Because if we hit Ozai, they're dead. I mean, not literally, but basically. Lost Days is great here. They actually have exactly not enough mana to activate meditation pools, so they're straight up just going to lose it. Okay. I think I'm going to play this land even with Agna and just use clues right now. Because I'm getting a clue from Lost Days, I'm getting a clue from Fortune Teller. Let's get some extra mana and have a ton for the Agnakella. Mill through their deck a bit. They've got some great fixing. Cycle of Renewal as well. Some filler creatures, removal spell. Kyoshi Warriors is a pretty good one. Ah, one of the strongest rares in the set. Hello, Katara. That's really, really, really bad for me. Even with just by herself, they're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they can make their creatures both 8/8s. They can only do it during their turn, though, and they are at 4 life. So we still get to attack just as aggressively, but they could kill us on the crackback so quickly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. An 8/8 and a 9/9. 17 damage on the crackback if I don't have blocks up. One of which is going to be trample if they play a land. Yikes. It's a Realm of Ko. Crack another clue. Firelord Azula. Force some rough blocks, but then on the crackback they have to block the Firelord, but they can keep using Bossing Say to have basically infinite blockers. They have the mana to play Firelord and activate Agnakella still. I have to use at least one blue, yeah. Another land. Yeah, I don't have attacks here, and then their crackbacks are terrifying. Oh, Katara. One of them being trample here. Like, they can, at minimum, attack with a 9/9 Katara and force a chump block. Oh, they still don't have the second green for Bossing Say, thank God. Okay, that's significantly less bad since they don't have the second green, but it is still really awful. Double attack's pretty bold. It leaves them dead to removal. And if we have removal in the top 2, we win on the spot now. You are not removal. What do you say, Agna? You say just more mana. Oh, wait. Double attack makes them lose Katara. That was a super bad attack, actually. I completely didn't register that because I thought they would just absolutely never do that if that was going to be the case. Wow, okay, we're actually fine. Because now they just lose Katara. I mean, if they draw the green source, we could still die to Ba Sing Se for sure. But we also have the spirit tokens coming in now. Maybe we should have held that land, considering that I'm going to be activating Agna and Realm of Ko. Stressful game. They're dead in 2 turns if we live. Oh, they're dead right now. Ozai from the top rope. There's the concession from our opponent. That is 3-0. Guaranteed to get at least some of our prize out back as we head into game number 4. All right, here we are on the play for game number 4. Mono blue hand that doesn't do anything of its own until turn 5. Other than that, it tries to react with a swamp snare trap if we hit a swamp. And if we don't, we really don't do anything for a long time. I think I have to mulligan this. Wow, that's beautiful, man, in this hand. We'll ditch the water skin because the lands are already so good anyway. Playing against a black deck with a turn 1 play, Callous Inspector, we're going to be under some pressure here. I think I'm going to play the island here so that all my lands are untapped now, including the Agna. Take 1, go to 19. Opponent plays a swamp. And a June Bounty Hunter. Yep, aggressive start is scary. It's Rumble Arena. See a giant koi. Not immediately impactful, but that will be a good turn 6 play. I think under the pressure that I am, I'm really looking for immediate impact spells, and that is not one of them. Any kind of instant for Azula would be a really good one too, but our opponent's on a black deck, so I doubt Azula's going to survive long enough to activate. Or trigger, technically. This is a triggered ability, not an activated ability. But still. Take 3, go to 16. They play Corrupt Court Official. It's not the end of the world. Discard a mountain. I can also discard the Aang's Journey because I have to spend mana on it. Yeah, I'll discard the land I have to spend mana on. Draw another land. Well, here's... Oops, I played the wrong land. I played the wrong land. Here is Crack a Clue, and then I wish I held Aang's Journey because I'm stupid and played the wrong land. That's a big punt. It was actually all intentional. I'm just trying to play around removal here and wait till they cast one. Oh my god, this is bad, Flood. I stop 1 point of damage by holding back the Hawk here for the Corrupt Court Official. I think our deck has a strong enough late game to hold off and just keep a damage off of us. Take 3 instead of 4 because we held Hawk back. There's an island. Foggy Swamp Hunters. Octopus form. I'm a genius, actually. I'm the greatest Magic player alive. None of you believed. None of you knew the strat. The strat was to wait for octopus form. Just one turn of waiting. And we get there. All according to Kikaku. Sack the court official for a clue. They can get an unblockable attack in with June now. They can give the Hunter's Menace too. But we can double block that. Wow, they didn't have removal. Okay. It would have been better if we just ran out of Azula. But, you know. Now Azula's safe. Let's go. Oh, they're cooked. They're cooked. They do get a clue here off of Inspector's ability. I do want a 6th mana. I have 6 mana spells in this deck, and I have a mana sink on the board right now. So I will play one of these instead of holding everything. I would actually be so terrified if they cast the fish right now. Just the... No, not the fish! I've jinxed myself. Anything but the fish. Got double black, double blue. Yeah, I'll keep a 3rd blue with Octopus Form and Agna here. If I play a land that's castable, black, black, red, Rumble Arena, red. 6 or more unspent mana. If I attack with both, I have 6 or more unspent mana. But if I play Ozai here, I don't have Octopus Form up. If they had removal, they'd have killed Azula by now. They have to top deck it. Taking 5 unblockable damage a turn, potentially. Okay. I have to race, I think. I don't think I can spend a turn holding for Octopus Form. Fortune Teller. Crack the clue. They are seeking some removal here. Hoping to find that like 2 mana exile spell or something. Heartless Act. Dang. I got no red spells left in this deck. Yeah, so always tap the red first. You can play another blue land. The lands are real. Got a lot of ways to kill this fish, we just have to find them. Excuse me. Double Lost Days. Sold Out Epic Downfall. If we find any of the instant ways to kill it, then we are in a really good spot, because Azula doubles them. So the sold out are the losts. Oh, man. May I please hit an instant speed removal spell? One time, no whammies. We've got 4 mana up. It's got to be basically exactly sold out now. Oh no, firebending means it can still be any of them. Come on, Arena. Lost Days, sold out. Man. Rough draws. Yeah, I'm just double checking everything. There's no way to survive here. They have 5 damage in the sky and 5 unblockable damage from the fish, and there's no way to shut any of it off with any of these cards. There's no secret way to draw another card. I can't sack that anyway. Doesn't trigger when I discard it. There's nothing in grave. Yeah, there's no solution here. I really jinxed myself when I was like, please don't play the fish. Because the fish is just too chunky for us to get any more attacks in there. And then we just could not draw removal for the rest of that game. Just some lands and some dirtly creatures. We had plenty of removal that would have worked there, but couldn't find a way to do it with the fish, and that's enough. Sad stuff. Our first loss to the gosh darn fish. We are 3-1, heading into game 5. All right, here we are on the draw for game number 5. If we hit a blue source, this hand is incredible, and we've got a lot in the deck, and that's the first draw of the game. There is an unfortunate gap here in the early mana values, but as soon as they play a 3-mana card, we can downfall it, and since they're on the play, that could be on our turn too, right? Right, like they play a 3-mana card, now we play downfall on, I guess, our turn 3. Grand Knowledge Seeker is a disgustingly fast start. That's like as punishing as possible for a slower hand. That the Seeker gets a counter every single turn off Grand. At least there's something for us to downfall, but we might just get wombo comboed by that team up. That's pretty brutal. We are going to need Azula Cunning Usurper to flip this game around somehow. But that Knowledge Seeker is... double Knowledge Seeker for the Grand. This is absurd at this point. Plus clue tokens and Agnikella. This is honestly a travesty. One of the least beatable curves I've run up against in this entire event, and I guess we're 3-2 then. Go to 2 life and die to a lightning strike? AO? Wee. And they just get to exile Professor Zay anyway. Kill one Knowledge Seeker, chump the other. We still had outs there. I mean, if we top decked Totally Lost, we still potentially win this game, because then we attack Totally Lost both of the Knowledge Seekers and they've got nothing left on board. But that was not the draw. The fish! Not the fish for the rubbins, too. I'm gonna lose both games to the fish? What is my life? Wow, and they just had no non-creature spells in the deck. So nothing for the Hama. Alright, I mean, what can you do? Grand Knowledge Seeker, GG. All we really could have done was have a lightning strike in the opener or something, but basically every deck is going to lose to that. That was filthy stuff. And that just goes to show you the variance of best of one Magic. We ran up against probably their dream hand there. And just could not interact. I think this deck was really good. I'm super happy with the deck build that we went with. But just could not draw the right stuff. We were not drawing our removal spells frequently at all today, particularly in those 2 losses. Yeah, I mean, we've got a solid chunk of removal. The barrels too, but the barrels would not have worked against the fish in that one game. But you know, just talking about the amount of removal we have. Yeah, I think this was probably the right deck to build. Just got some of the wrong draws at times. Maybe some of the wrong opponents. Gran, double Knowledge Seeker. To finish things off, at least we got some of our prize out back, and we had a positive record today. But sad we still are leaving without any boxes as of yet. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it and you're interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. And other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.